Hello, GH fans. Port Charles is about to explode. Shocking betrayals, deadly secrets, and a dangerous rescue mission will change everything on General Hospital. There's something comforting about returning to these familiar faces and the town that feels like an old friend. Lately, though, the storylines have taken some truly surprising turns that have me both excited and reflective. The latest developments with Cassius have me thinking deeply about trust, identity, and the weight of secrets we carry through the years. Cassius has been at the center of so much tension, and I remember how his presence first felt like a breath of fresh air, someone new who might shake things up. But as the weeks have passed, I've watched him realize that his carefully constructed Nathan West persona is starting to crumble around him. It's heartbreaking in a way, because we've all had moments where the masks we wear begin to slip. He's preparing to leave town, which makes sense given the pressure building, yet he can't seem to go without one final, personal meeting with James. I kept wondering as I watched, is this truly a goodbye, or is Cassius still hiding something unresolved, some piece of the puzzle he's not ready to release? The way he lingers suggests there's more beneath the surface, and that uncertainty keeps me glued to the episodes. What struck me most was the moment Cassius opened up to James in that intimate confession. He spoke about the obsessions that have haunted him, the thoughts that have driven his actions in ways that even he seems to struggle to understand. As a longtime viewer, I appreciate when the show allows characters to show vulnerability like this. It's not just about plot twists, it's about the human side of these stories. Cassius admitted how these fixations have tangled with the troubles he's facing now, linking his past decisions to the chaos unfolding today. I found myself nodding along, thinking back to other characters over the decades who've had similar moments of reckoning. Remember how deeply some of those revelations changed relationships forever? This feels like one of those pivotal points. Of course, the real shock came when Dante overheard those confessions. I could feel the tension through the screen as Dante absorbed the words. His reaction was pure heartbreak mixed with disbelief. Dante has always been a man of honor, someone who values loyalty above almost everything else. To hear that he's been betrayed and deceived in such a personal way left him visibly shaken, and I don't blame him one bit. I've seen Dante face danger and loss before, but this feels different because it strikes at the heart of trust within his circle. The new adjustments in his actions show a man processing betrayal while still trying to do what's right. Will this push him toward rash decisions, or will it strengthen his resolve? I believe the latter. Knowing his character, but the writers have surprised us before. One thing I've always loved about General Hospital is how it weaves personal struggles with larger mysteries. Cassius's troubles aren't just his own. They ripple out, affecting James and now Dante in profound ways. The connection between Cassius's obsessions and the rifts they're creating feels authentic to life. We all carry burdens from our past that influence our present, and the show captures that so well. I've been pondering whether Cassius's final meeting with James might bring some closure or only deepen the wounds. From what I've seen, it seems like he's seeking understanding, perhaps even forgiveness, in his own complicated way. That human desire for connection, even when everything is falling apart, is what makes these stories resonate after all these years. Dante's shock has me asking questions that I know many longtime fans are also considering. How will he confront this deception without letting it destroy the good he's built? The writers have handled his response with care so far, showing his internal struggle rather than immediate anger. It makes the storyline feel more real and less like a simple revenge plot. I find myself rooting for Dante to find clarity, maybe even to help untangle some of Cassius's mess before he leaves town. There's potential for growth here, for all of them, if they can navigate these revelations thoughtfully. Looking back, this arc reminds me of classic General Hospital storytelling from the 80s and 90s, where identity and hidden truths drove so many compelling narratives. Cassius playing this Nathan West role has echoes of those earlier tales, but with fresh emotional layers that feel current. I appreciate how the show updates these themes for today's audience while honoring what made it great originally. My personal take is that Cassius isn't purely villainous. He's a man overwhelmed by his own history, and that complexity makes him fascinating to watch. Not every character needs to be black and white, and this storyline proves it beautifully. As Cassius prepares to depart, I wonder what loose ends he'll try to tie up in that last encounter with James. Will he reveal even more about those haunting obsessions, or will he leave some mysteries for future returns? The show has a way of bringing characters back when we least expect it, so I'm keeping hope alive that this isn't the end of his journey in Port Charles. Meanwhile, Dante's path forward feels charged with possibility. His sense of betrayal could lead him to new alliances or force him to re-examine old ones. Either way, the emotional stakes are high, and that's exactly what keeps me coming back. I've shared these thoughts with fellow fans my age, and we all agree that the current pace is thrilling without being overwhelming. The writers balance drama with quieter moments of reflection, letting us sit with the characters' feelings. That's important for those of us who followed the show through decades of changes. We've seen families grow, secrets explode, and loves lost and found. This Cassius saga fits right into that tradition while offering something new. The way Dante processes the shocking confessions shows real depth, proving that even strong characters can be wounded by lies from unexpected places. One aspect I particularly enjoy is how the storyline highlights the importance of honest communication. Cassius holding on to his secrets for so long only made things worse, much like in real life. When he finally spoke to James, it felt like a release, even if painful. I hope James finds the strength to listen without judgment, though I know that's easier said than done. Their interaction carries a weight that goes beyond simple plot. It touches on forgiveness, regret, and moving forward. These are themes that speak to all of us who have lived long enough to understand second chances. Dante's reaction adds another rich layer. His shock at the betrayal feels earned, and I'm curious to see how it affects his relationships moving ahead. Will he pull away, or will he channel that energy into protecting those he cares about? The show excels at these emotional crossroads, and this one promises to deliver. I keep imagining the conversations yet to come, the confrontations that might clear the air or reveal even deeper truths. That anticipation is part of what makes General Hospital so special after all this time. In the end, I believe these developments are strengthening the fabric of the show. Cassius's impending departure doesn't feel like an exit, but a transition, leaving room for growth and new stories. James and Dante will carry the emotional aftermath, and I trust the writers to handle it with the care longtime viewers deserve. There's a warmth in these characters, even amid turmoil, that reminds me why I fell in love with Port Charles so many years ago. The obsessions, the deceptions, the confessions, they all build towards something meaningful. What struck me most in these recent episodes is the dark path Dante now faces. His shock from overhearing Cassius's confessions has evolved into something heavier, a genuine adjustment in how he sees the world around him. Dante has always been steady, the kind of man who protects his own with quiet strength. But the betrayal cuts deep, forcing him to confront not just personal deception, but a web of larger troubles. Through the clues and hints Cassius left scattered, perhaps in a hurried message, a forgotten note, or a final conversation with James, Dante begins digging deeper. He's now investigating the crimes tied to Sidwell and Cullum, names that carry real weight and danger in Port Charles. I found myself nodding as I watched Dante piece things together. Those remnants from Cassius act like breadcrumbs leading straight into shadows we hadn't fully explored before. Sidwell and Cullum's activities, the kind of shady dealings that involve power, money, and hidden agendas, suddenly feel connected to Cassius's own obsessions. It proves there's a new layer to his fixation, something darker and more calculated than we first imagined. Cassius wasn't just playing a role. His obsessions drove him toward these dangerous figures, perhaps seeking alliance or trying to outmaneuver them. Now Dante inherits that burden, adjusting his own actions as he pursues the truth. I appreciate how the writers show this evolution gradually. Dante doesn't explode in rage. Instead, he channels the pain into determination, which feels authentic for a character who has faced loss and loyalty tests before. As a longtime viewer, I see strong echoes of classic General Hospital storytelling here. Remember how past mysteries unfolded slowly, revealing connections between personal vendettas and larger criminal undercurrents? This feels similar, but refreshed for today. Cassius fleeing town doesn't end his influence, it amplifies it. The things he left behind forced Dante to question alliances and dig into crimes that could shake the foundation of several families. Will Sidwell and Cullum's secrets expose more players in Port Charles? I believe they will, and that anticipation builds beautifully. Dante's investigation brings a sense of urgency, making every scene feel charged with possibility. One thing that fascinates me is how Cassius's obsessions tie directly into this new darkness Dante faces. Those haunting admissions weren't just emotional outpourings. They hinted at deeper entanglements with Sidwell and Cullum. Perhaps Cassius was obsessed with controlling outcomes, using his persona to navigate their world, only for it to backfire. Leaving those threads for Dante proves the fixation lingers even in absence. I've shared thoughts like this with friends who've watched as long as I have, and we all agree it adds richness. It's not simple good versus evil. Cassius becomes a more complex figure, flawed, desperate, yet impactful. Dante's adjustment feels earned and compelling. He's sifting through evidence, following leads that connect back to Cassius's final days in town. This investigation might pull in James too, creating emotional confrontations that test bonds. I keep wondering, will Dante uncover enough to bring justice? Or will Sidwell and Cullum prove too slippery? The show excels at these slow burn revelations, letting us feel the weight alongside the characters. It's exciting without being overwhelming, perfect for those of us who savor the long-term arcs. What I enjoy most is how this storyline highlights themes of legacy and consequence. Cassius flees, but his obsessions and the evidence he leaves reshape Dante's path. It's a reminder that our actions touch others long after we're gone. Dante's shock has matured into focused resolve, and I'm rooting for him to navigate this carefully. The writers balance suspense with heartfelt moments, allowing space for reflection amid the tension.